Hey everyone, today we're going to be checking out the Ready Pack X from Vertx. The X in the name of the bag is meant to signify the 10-year anniversary of this being on the market. And so it's gone through a couple of different iterations in that time. I recently took a look at the previous version of the bag, and so it's been great to have a chance to get hands-on with this over the past couple of weeks, see what the differences are between the two bags, and in this video I'm going to be talking about what it's been like to use it. I'll show you how I've loaded it out, walk through all the features, and I'll also talk about how it compares to some of the other similar bags that are currently on the market. Before jumping into the video, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Danny, and on this channel we love reviewing popular travel and everyday carry gear. If you like these types of videos and you'd be interested in seeing more, please consider subscribing as it helps the channel out a lot. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and jump in. Starting off with the overall aesthetic, the look here feels pretty similar to the previous version of the Ready Pack that I featured on the channel. So it's got kind of a classic day pack style, something that is going to work well in a lot of different situations. It's not overtly tactical. You still have a little bit of webbing, pockets, attachment points, and things like that. But for the most part, it's a more subdued appearance that I think is going to work well in a lot of different situations, whether you're going into the office, traveling, or just walking around the city. As far as the materials, this feels really solidly built. This exterior fabric is a 500D nylon, so it feels like it's going to offer plenty of durability and a decent amount of weather resistance. And then beyond that, you have some very smooth working YKK zippers all throughout. Continuing along the outside of the bag, you have the dual external water bottle pockets. These are going to offer a nice amount of capacity. I was able to store my 20-ounce water bottle in here very comfortably. You can see that there's some elasticity here. And it's great that you have one on each side, so you can use it to store another water bottle, an umbrella. And on the inside, you have this extra kind of bungee cord or strap to allow you to tighten things up and provide just a little bit more security to prevent something from falling out. It did sometimes feel like this would kind of get in the way when I was trying to get a larger water bottle in there. And so I didn't really end up using it that much. I could see why some people might like to have it, but I would have almost preferred to leave those off. Regardless, still glad to have at least a pocket on each side, and then when they're not in use, this elastic material helps keep the pockets closer to the bag. Continuing along the exterior, you have a couple of attachment points here on the front, so this is going to be good for clipping on, something with a carabiner, hero clip, hand sanitizer, and so always great to have a few of these. And at the top, you have a pretty simple handle here, not super padded, but comes up enough to just get the job done. On the front, you also have a secondary sort of handle here. This is an interesting system. I actually find myself using this one more because it just feels like it gives you a nice grip. And so you have kind of these two ways that you can maneuver the bag if you want to. And then beyond that, I like that there's no overt branding on the front, so really maintaining a minimal appearance in that regard. And the last thing I'll mention while we're talking about the exterior is that the bag has been a little inconsistent as far as how well it stands on its own. It's got a little bit of a slant and then the rigid kind of portion here at the bottom that tends to tip it forward. So I've found myself placing it against a wall or a chair when I've not been using it. Moving into the capacity, this comes in at about 20 liters, which to me is a really great daily bag size. I was able to hold all the items that I normally like to carry with me, and it didn't feel like the bag was overwhelmingly bulky or large. It did feel a little on the taller side for a 20-liter bag, so that's something that you'll want to keep in mind depending on your height and where you're going to be using the bag. But generally, it still felt like it had, a versatile profile that was going to allow me to carry it onto a variety of domestic and international airlines, as well as using it for just walking around the city or jumping onto public transit. Continuing with the harness system, so far the bag has been pretty comfortable to wear. I like how the straps have been implemented here. They have a good amount of padding. It feels really comfortable right out of the box. On the inside, you have a breathable material to help prevent moisture from building up. The width on the straps also feels nice for the size of bag that it is. And then at the top, you have some additional padding that goes kind of around the neckline. And then this, really fits nicely around the shoulders. And on the straps, you also have a few elastic bands that you can use to, maybe hang your sunglasses, clip on additional accessories, a light. And then you have an adjustable sternum strap. And I like that there's strap management on a couple of different areas of the bag. And so you can really kind of manage all that to try to maintain a cleaner look. Same thing down on the shoulder straps. So more strap management here that is included. You can roll these up, and then you have the quick release buckles on the straps that you can use to remove the bag without having to adjust the length, or to also potentially secure it to a table or a chair while it's next to you. As far as the back panel, this also provides a nice amount of padding. It's well distributed throughout. It feels like it's going to offer a good amount of support. It's not the most breathable. I do wish that this had had the same material that we saw on the shoulder straps or some deeper air channels to just provide more ventilation while you're walking around, but generally it's felt comfortable as I've been wearing it. And then you also have a luggage pass through here that's going to allow you to rest this on your suitcase while traveling to save some weight on your back. Jumping into the organizational options, you have a couple of quick access pockets on the front. So first off here, you have a zippered pocket, and I like that it's got this sort of flap that comes over the zipper to provide a little bit of additional protection. And then pretty simple compartment here. I'm using this to store my charging cable for my phone, my tablet. I have a headlamp in here, and then I also have my AirPods. So this is just kind of the spot where I toss many of the items that I'm grabbing most regularly. Nice light lining here, as you'll start to see throughout the rest of the bag to give you some added visibility. And then behind that, another quick access pocket, a little bit more volume on this one. And so it's able to handle bulkier items like my sunglasses with their case. I have my USB-C hub with the charging cables to go along with it. Those fit in there easily. And then on the back here, you have a little bit of internal organization, a couple of small slots for a pen, a stylus. Then you have a zippered pocket for some smaller, slimmer items. And on the back, you have a larger slip pocket that I'm currently just using to store a portable battery. Above that, you have another zippered compartment that has a larger opening here, and it has this flap that opens up, and this compartment does go all the way down to the bottom, so you can have items that, take up that space. You will start to have to kind of plan how you organize everything, as all of this can get a little bit tight, but still great to have that flexibility if you want to really take advantage of just the capacity that's offered here. At the moment, I'm using this to store a couple of pouches. I have an alpaca admin pouch, the Evergood Civic Access pouch 1 liter, and then a packable tote bag. All of those things fit in there comfortably. And then at the bottom, you have some hook and loop backing, so you can customize this with many of the accessories that Vertx sells. Same thing here at the top, you still have hook and loop backing here in addition to the webbing that you can use to clip on additional accessories, pocket knives, flashlights, and then of course Vertx's own ecosystem of gear. I have a couple of their pouches and accessories here, and so it's great to be able to just kind of attach and configure everything in a more modular fashion if you want to have that extra bit of control. And then you can also roll this flap into this compartment if you want to have this section more exposed and easily accessible. If you have gear that you need to grab more quickly, you can do so. So really like the flexibility there, and then you can just give it that less tactical look whenever you need to. On the back of the bag, you have another zippered compartment, and this offers a lot of flexibility as well. First thing I'll note here is that this is a lockable compartment, and then you have Vertx's rapid pull tab here that you can move around to different compartments of the bag depending on which one you want the easiest access to. And so it kind of comes in this section by default, as it also provides the most flexibility if you want something that you can use for off-body concealed carry. So you have the hook and loop backing here. You have a little bit more depth that's been added, and so lots of options with how you can configure it. At the moment, I just put in a couple of the tearaway accessories that Vertx sent me to try out, just to kind of showcase that it does have this functionality here. So this is a few additional slip pockets that I've added, a spot for flashlight, pens, things like that. And then there's also this included section here down at the bottom. And so you can lift this up, you can add more things to it. There's also the ability to add some armor in. And so lots of different things that you can do with this compartment. And so generally I end up using it more for like a tablet or other accessories, but you do have the capability to use it for other things if you want to. And then moving into the main compartment, this also has a lockable zipper, and then it's a top loading compartment, but the flap does come down a decent amount, so you have nice visibility into this main area along with that lighter lining that I mentioned earlier. And so I have my kind of standard EDC loadout here with a couple of pouches, Civic Access pouch 1/2 liter. I have an Air Tech kit here, my Beat Studio wireless headphones, and then at the bottom I have the Civic Access pouch 2 liters. All that fit in there pretty comfortably. And then this does come up a decent amount, so if you want to use this for minimal travel, you could probably toss in a pack and cube, toiletry bag, and extra pair of shoes, and use this for a longer weekend trip. On the back of the compartment, you have a built-in laptop sleeve. This also has hook and loop backing on the front if you want to continue to customize it with various accessories. And then the sleeve itself feels like it's been improved from the previous version. Definitely more thick and padded here, which is great to see. Currently I have a 14-inch MacBook Pro in here, but this could definitely handle a 15 or 16-inch laptop pretty comfortably. And this is a little pulled up off the bottom of the ground. There's a slight gap here, but I do wish it had been pulled up further just to give some additional peace of mind, as depending on how the bag is loaded out, you can kind of feel the bottom collapsing up to the sleeve. And so there's a chance your laptop could still be making contact. The bottom of the sleeve does also offer a little bit of padding, so at least you have that. And then pulling my device out, now with the compartment empty, you can get a better look at the inside. This does come up a decent amount, so if you happen to have a thicker laptop or you want to use a case with your device, it should be able to fit in here pretty comfortably. And so great to see that this has been improved a bit from the previous version. And then above that, you have a couple of pass-throughs if you want to store hydration bladder in here. And you have one on each side, depending on what's going to make more sense for you. And on the front, you have some added organization, a couple of small slots for something like a flashlight, a pen, stylus, those fit in here, a pocket knife, and then you have hook and loop backing here as well. And you have a zippered pocket. It's gonna offer a nice amount of space. I'm just using this to store my magnetic suction mount for my phone. And then you have a little lanyard with a clip for your keys if you want to have them easily accessible. And so this is always a nice area for you to be able to open up, grab some stuff from here quickly. And so in general, I think that the space and the layout here provides a nice amount of versatility. It's great to see the tweaks and updates that Vertx has continued to make to the Ready Pack. And if you're looking for an EDC pack that's gonna offer a nice amount of organization and durability, I think this is gonna be a really interesting option to take a look at. And so to wrap up, you can currently purchase this on the company's site. It's gonna come in at around $200, so definitely an investment. It does feel like you're getting a solidly built bag that's gonna offer a nice feature set, but there's gonna be some other great bags in this price range that may be worth considering. And so as I was testing this out, the first bag this made me think of is the Vertx Siege backpack, which has a little bit more of a tactical vibe, but it's a very functional everyday carry option. It's got a really useful size that's able to hold an impressive amount of stuff. It's got a full clamshell style opening, nice organizational layout, a couple of quick access pockets. It also has the really unique sort of large pocket on the front that can expand to hold a pair of shoes, a helmet, and then you have a comfortable harness system, a padded laptop sleeve on the inside, some useful organization. And so, it's just gonna be a really solid bag. And if you don't mind a more tactical aesthetic or you want a little bit more space, then that's gonna be a great one to take a look at. The next bag this made me think of is the VanQuest ADX backpack. That one comes in an 18 and 25 liter size. Really great everyday carry option with a useful organizational layout, pretty comfortable harness system. It's got a more kind of modern, almost techie appearance while still providing the organization that you would expect in a more EDC focused bag. You have a dedicated laptop compartment that's gonna be padded, suspended, and then you also have the ability to configure the bag with various pouches and accessories, as there's a lot of hook and loop throughout the bag in addition to the built-in organization. And so if you're looking for something that's gonna offer a lot of functionality with that more kind of minimal modern aesthetic, and that's gonna be a great option to take a look at. And then the last option that I'll mention here is the Evergood CHZ22 that was recently updated, so it now has a dedicated laptop compartment, which I really love. And then it's got a simple but effective layout. At 22 liters, it's able to hold an impressive amount. You have the spacious dual external water bottle pockets, some good quick access pockets on the front, on the inside, so it doesn't go overboard as far as the organization that it provides. And then it's gonna offer a comfortable harness system with a nice amount of breathability. And so if you're looking for something that's gonna work well in a lot of different environments, it's gonna be very durable and just offer a simpler layout and a more subdued aesthetic, and that's gonna be a great one to take a look at. With that being said, the Ready Pack X holds up very well against all those options, and I can definitely see why this has continued to be such a popular EDC option over the years. And if you're looking for something that's gonna offer a versatile aesthetic, a useful organizational layout, and a solid build quality, then this is gonna be a really cool option to check out. And I'm definitely curious to hear what you all think of the Ready Pack X and how it compares to some of the other popular EDC bags that are currently on the market. And if there's any similar options that you think that I should check out, as always, please let me know in the comments. And I wanna thank the company for sending the bag for me to test out, and to you guys for watching and supporting the channel. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like, and if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any upcoming videos, and we'll see you in the next one.